Well, it's always nice opening up a video with a nice view of a diesel truck. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video here on Loud and Proud. I'm in the car with my father here. This is not our normal vehicle. You guys are like, why are you guys in a flipping caravan? Well, we are in Florida, so this is a rental, but we are headed to see Jacob from Pusher with Pusher Intakes. Yes, Jacob is over at some kind of motocross event, is what he said.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna go over there and we're gonna watch that a little bit. We wanted to just meet the guy. You know, we're down here now. Let's go try to link up with the guy and just kind of have a chat, get to know each other a little bit, I guess. You know. So yeah, we got about an hour drive before we get up there. And what is he actually doing up there? Is he racing dirt bikes or?
As far as I know, he's riding now.
He is? Okay, yeah, that's cool. So that's what he's doing up there, I guess, as far as we understand. I think he said he's got his project truck with him, which, if it is the truck that I see on his Instagram page, it's a 1500 regular cab short bed 3rd gen with a 12-valve Cummins swap in it, maybe to do a little ride along in his 1500 3rd gen 12-valve swap truck.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
How are you?
Jacob from Pusher?
Welcome to Florida.
Yeah.
How's vacation like?
Pretty good.
Sir?
Warm.
It's not bad. Humidity's not here yet. We just finished practice. Been pretty good out here.
Dirt bikes, motocross?
Yeah, it's what we like to do on our spare time. Come out, cut some laps. We actually have a track a lot closer to the shop. You know, every once in a while I come up here, so it worked out pretty good. You guys were in town. Me and John ride, and then my dad, and so nice little outside of work activity, you know?
We were on vacation. We just happened to reach out to Jacob. We was like, hey, you know, we're on vacation. Just mind if we stop by? And we just happened to be, 50 minutes away, so we swung over.
It's actually a desperate cry for help to not have to lay around a pool because we're not into that. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
That's good stuff.
It worked out good too. We just kind of finished out a little like play truck. I've been, building for myself on the side, just spare time. Little half ton with a 12 valve in it. Kind of does dual duty. We actually run the same compound system you guys just got on it, and I've actually had that same system now for almost 7 years. I keep kind of putting on trucks, different trucks, and this is the first kind of full truck I built for myself just to play around town. Nothing crazy, kind of a budget build in a way to see what 1,000 less pounds than anything you buy from the factory runs like. Kind of give you an idea of some of the stuff we build for ourselves. But it started out as a 03 that had a Hemi in it that dropped the valve, and I got it from the guy who had it, and we just did the the updated front end on it and stuff like that just recently. The 12 valve and a 47 RH in it from a 94 about 3 or 4 years ago, and just been playing around in my spare time on it, kind of bumping up the power. And the other day we kind of just cut it off, and it made right at 720 and a little over 1,600 foot-pounds of torque. Kind of an experiment on one token, and kind of just a budget build, round town driver I use whenever I don't have to take the kids anywhere to play around and have some fun for myself. Let's go for a ride.
not done that nasty red yet.
No, not at all.
Yeah, this thing's fun. I mean, it's the same system you guys have. So it's the cool thing about compounds is, you know, they work. The setup you guys have will work down to pretty much factory power level. It's not a big deal. You know, you're still using your factory charger for your low end power, so you know, you can kind of keep upping your power, your top end power, you know, with your fuel mods, and just keep taking advantage. You know, this truck makes a little over 700 horse. That's pretty much the max you're gonna make with the HX35 as your small charger. And so it's the cool thing about it. And then you have the towing ability. You know, you keep that smaller charger for your low end response, get your trailer moving. You know, same for around town driving, stuff like that. So you don't have that, you know, compromise you have with a bigger single. You know, where you just kind of, the bigger you go with that charger, the more you move your power range up in the RPM. And that's why we developed these systems first, is because we found how versatile they are, and then we can do this type of stuff and really have a real wide range of power a customer can pick, and they don't really compromise anywhere.
What the heck just happened? None of our trucks do that, so we're doing something wrong.
This is definitely my favorite truck to drive.
Look at this guy.
Wow.
Holy crow.
Short wheelbase, you know, 5,000 pounds. This truck weighs right at 5,100 pounds, so it's definitely a fun, you know, it drives a lot more like a car, goes a lot lower to the ground, so it's a lot easier to control in that kind of aspect.
It's like whipping donuts in a Hellcat.
Pretty much. Definitely very little body
Holy
roll
crap.
being this low to the ground, so you just slide.
I still see smoke like crazy.
You can see that way back there. And no, that wasn't in the middle of the interstate or anything like that. It was way at the middle of a dead end. There's no roads that coming to it. Dead end road with no houses, nobody around. Look at that.
Looks like a forest fire.
Holy crap. Sure. As long as you can get us where we're going fast. You want to go through just kind of like a rundown on your truck, what's done?
Yeah, so we found some drive pavement a little bit. This was an 03 half ton. We put the 06 front end on it just to update a little bit, but this is just my play truck, you know, something I drive every day. We want to keep power reasonable, a little over 700 horse, and so yeah,
So if I use 700 horsepower with my wife and say it's reasonable, that flies, right?
I think so. My wife thinks
Jake said
pretty reasonable.
We're good.
Until it gets sideways, they're okay with it. Driving normal around town, highway mixed driving, I still get right at like 23 miles a gallon with this thing. Even if I really beat on it hard, I still get 20. And so it's a, you know, reasonable vehicle to drive around. I have air conditioning, I have everything, and it's just a little bit shorter and easier to park. And you know, I don't tow anything really heavy, but I've picked up equipment for the business with it. Gone to the Keys with my boat with it.
Throw your dirt bikes in it?
Yeah, to put my dirt bikes in, I can do everything I really needed to do, other than haul a real big load, and that's really comes down to chassis. You know, I have the power, but you know, these are fully boxed frames. You know, all big disc brakes and stuff, and so they're really capable as a half-ton truck. I basically dropped the 12 valve in this thing, you know, with the 47 RH. The cool thing about these trucks is, you know, the 2500s are the same engine bay, so are the 3500s. So lengthwise, you know, Cummins is a pretty long engine, and so we have the length that we need. We just have to configure stuff a little bit different. We use the intercooler normally comes in a 3rd gen truck instead of, you know, like a 2nd gen. So like this setup here, the low mount setup's the same as what you guys have. We use almost all the same parts in that kit that comes in the factory one, other than your final charge tube, which is hooking up to a different intercooler. And then, I use the Mega Twin that you guys have, different charge tube that connects to the intercooler there. No black magic here. This motor came out of a friend of mine's dually they used to pull with John Deere with. It had 230,000 miles on it. We took it out. He never touched it, never tweaked it, so it was in pretty good shape. Took it apart, looked at everything, but the rotating assembly is totally factory. I think it has 250,000 miles on it now. We just put a mild cam in there, did a little bit of head work, and that's it. As far as engine internals, we maxed and balanced the pump. The pump is a 160 pump. We put some delivery valves in there, regular governor springs, simple off-the-shelf parts, and then a little bit bigger injectors than you guys have. A little over 700 horsepower and a little over 1,600 foot-pounds of torque SAE. It's a proven setup. As far as the trainings to the 47RH, we built that ourselves. Nothing real crazy in there, all the kind of standard stuff, triple disc converter, whatnot, and then factory rear end, we put a locker in there, a little bit lower gear so it cruises on the highway real nice. But other than that, everything else is factory. Then we got a lot of, like I was saying, we use a system to kind of prove out the higher power number, or this truck to prove that out, so we got some data collection stuff here. We monitor EGTs in a couple of places, boosts in a couple of different places, charge air temps in a couple of places, and so we can get good data from that when we're on the dyno or just out and about towing and whatnot.
This is one heck of a machine. I mean, this is obviously the first time we're meeting you face to face, which is awesome, which I definitely am thankful for. The way I found out was I was just surfing on the internet when we first bought that first gen, and I saw it stood out on a web page. I don't know which one it was, but I just saw the red thing. And then as I started looking into just your products, your quality, and your website and so forth, now, I mean, what are we running to push our stuff in? We got Nasty Red, the same setup as this. First gen, we have the 7.3, and we're planning on, using pusher just because I haven't seen anything but top-notch quality.
Every time we put it in, it's gotten better. Something's improved. So
I just love it. I mean, that's just my nature, as I want the best of what I can. Whether I understand all the stuff like what you're talking about or not, it just makes sense to me as a consumer. So, so let me ask you this: with this, obviously we have more to do with our trucks, but what's the vision that you have, like when it comes to the pusher company?
Everybody that buys a diesel truck pretty much buys them because they're versatile, right? They have a little higher tow rating, usually get a lot better fuel economy than the gas counterparts, more durable, retain their value, and the big thing is durability. You have a diesel truck, you expect it to last. They're pretty good from the factory, but especially when you start up in the power, you got to do some stuff. And the big thing with the diesels is they move a ton of air. They have no throttle body, air is unmetered. The more you get in them, the better. I bought a diesel originally because of that. I wanted the best truck I could get. They still get better fuel economy than the half ton, so why not drive something that you could pull anything you want and still get good fuel economy. On that first truck, I found it definitely had some areas for improvement, and addressed that myself and just found that there was a need for it. And so our biggest thing is just build parts that match capability of a diesel truck. We're not building stuff out of titanium and carbon fiber and whatnot. You don't need that. You need something that's going to work, that's going to last. Our goal is to build stuff that outlasts the life of the truck. Like the compound systems, we have a lot of components. You need to support a 50-pound atmospheric charger somehow. We'll go and put that on the worst environment we can. One of the cool things we put on a mega truck, the Duramax stuff down here in Florida, they're like the monster trucks, for the redneck guys, and they're jumping 30 to 100 feet every lap into the mud, or drag trucks, the trucks that tow those trucks. And I think the shortest time we tested a compound system was 2.5 years before we released it. This one I built first for myself. I have probably 7 or 8 years on that now. We released it like 2 years ago. Our goal is just to build stuff that we want for our trucks that matches the ability of a diesel truck, and that we can go to sleep at night knowing it's going to last as long as you own that truck. And so that's our biggest goal. And then just building everything the way it should be, from our oil drains to our brackets, everything, so it's easy to install. You don't go and hack up your truck to install this part, and then if you want to take it off, you go try to sell your truck, and the guy's like, well, what happened to over here? Why is this inner fender all cut up or something like that? And so just stuff that drops in and works really, really well. Does what it's supposed to do and is affordable.
Malachi did his first compound turbo system.
And I've never done it before, so
that's what it's for. I mean, the instructions are written that way. Go about the design process that way to where our goal is that a guy can get it that has regular tools in his driveway. Up until this point, our entire product line is you can do it in the driveway without a lot of knowledge, and instructions are there. Something like this should take you a day. You don't need a welder, you don't need all this stuff to do it. You just follow the instructions, and we're there for you. Right now you call, you're going to get me or John. Both of us know the product line in and out, and so if you have an issue, you're not understanding something, we're going to be right there, right to us, and we'll answer the question.
And we've done it now, like I said, with the first gen, and we've done a 12 valve. We did some stuff with the 7.3, which I love. That whole system that I upgraded with that was a game changer for that truck. But you deal with I mean, all kinds of, I mean, what years, and I mean, you do the Duramax, you do the Ford, you do the Dodge.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything that.
Yep, we cover pretty much every year diesel truck. To this point, we have the most extensive intake air delivery line of any company right now. So we pretty much cover almost all of them. There's a few outlying ranges, you know, like the 6.2 and 6.5. You know, GM diesels, we don't do anything with those. You know, there's not many of those around, but there's a few little outliers. You know, the first gens we don't have that set up for yet, but we have them. You know, obviously other charge system stuff for the first gen Dodges. So pretty much just about any light duty diesel truck. You know, your 2500, 3500s, and then there's some platforms with the Dodges that, you know, you get the cabin chassis that's a 4500, 5500 that, you know, your engine bay is pretty much the same. And so we make some parts for those guys too. I'm pretty stoked you guys were happen to be in town.
Yeah.
Come out and see some riding and do some ripping around.
Thanks for taking us for the rip in your truck. That was awesome.
Anytime I have an excuse to go do that, it's a good day.
Definitely giving us some ideas too.
Well,
Nice.
it may be for sale soon.
You know, when it does actually go up for sale, I'll let them know, because I don't think they're gonna forget this video, because it's probably the craziest footage that we've ever had on this channel, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think there's too many of these around. I know a couple guys have done swaps and stuff, but I haven't seen any like to this extent. You know, it's by no means a totally factory swap, but it's, like I said, I built it a few years ago and I've had it all over the place. Probably have like 30,000 miles on it now, and really trouble free. It's, you know, kind of nice that that size motor comes in the bay. We do all these crazy mods to get it to work, but you know, I don't drive it easy. You know, I either drive like grandma or I drive wide open, and it definitely has got a lot of passes at the track, you know, a lot of hard launches, you know, slicks and stuff, and it's held together really well. I'm really happy with this truck for all, you know, all things considered. It's been a really fun toy.
Thank you so much for letting us
guys.
take a rip in your truck.
Yeah, again,
Enjoy the
appreciate
rest of
you
your
taking the time
vacation.
out of your riding schedule to meet
It's
up with
okay.
us.
Well, what'd you think about that?
That was a good 55-minute trip spent.
Freaking sick truck. That was awesome. It was
My whole
just cool.
face hurts from smiling.
Yeah, seriously, just crazy. It was cool. It was really cool. Definitely super awesome.
We just set that up basically last minute. Yeah, I just happened to text Jacob something through the weekend saying, hey, yeah, I'm on my way out to Orlando. He's like, Orlando? I'm going to be doing motocross there on Wednesday. You want to stop out? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So, yeah, 55-minute drive. Got a chance to meet Jacob and John. So if you ever call up Pusher, John was actually the first guy I talked to. And then Jake's dad was there too. They were all riding motocross, so that's pretty cool. But I'll tell you what, that truck is amazing. That truck is fast.
It's really
That's a
fast.
sweet truck.
It's basically the equivalent of driving a Hellcat, but you got a bed. Alright, so when you see this, Jacob, thank you so much for letting us swing by and kind of take a look at your truck there. This isn't something that we had like planned out. It was just kind of like, hey, we're in town. Mind if we stop by for a minute? He's like, well, I'm not going to be at the shop, but I'll be over at the, you know, the MX park if you want to swing by. Sure. So we hung out, and it was a good time. It was definitely well worth the drive to go and see that truck, to put a face to the people behind the products that you're using in your vehicle.
I bought the compound system for Nasty Red before I rode in his truck with the same compound system. Now I want to buy more 12 valves and put the same compound system in those 12 valves as well, because I mean, we have two different applications. He's got a low riding light truck. I'm looking for pulling, but holy smokes, I had no idea that those trucks could actually do that.
Share this video with a friend if you enjoyed. Leave your likes and comments down below. Subscribe if you're new. Join the team, join the family, and also subscribe because we're going to be giving away a 12 valve soon. So anyways, guys, thank you so much. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.